On a planet of 8 billion people, we tend to think we've mapped every corner. We've named every island, measured every ocean, and divided every inch of dirt between nearly 200 nations. We spend trillions of dollars on militaries to guard borders that are often nothing more than invisible lines in the sand. But there is a place that defies our maps. A place so high, so hostile, and so vast that it creates its own weather. For a century, we've obsessed over the North and South poles. We've watched the Arctic melt and the Antarctic crack. But scientists have discovered a third pole. It isn't a single point on a compass. It is a massive, frozen heart beating in the center of Asia. It holds the largest reserve of fresh water on the planet outside the Arctic and Antarctic. And right now, that heart is starting to fail. If you want to know where the next world war will truly begin, you don't need to look at oil fields or microchip factories. You just need to look up, because whoever controls the third pole controls the life support system for 2 billion people. This is the Tibetan Plateau, 5 million square kilometers of rock, ice, and permafrost. To the average traveler, it looks like a barren wasteland, but to a geographer, it is the most valuable piece of real estate in the world. It is the water tower of Asia. Think of it as a massive biological bank account. Every winter, the plateau deposits snow and ice into over 46,000 glaciers. Every summer, it withdraws just enough meltwater to feed 10 of the world's greatest rivers: the Yangtze, the Yellow, the Mekong, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, the Indus. These aren't just names on a map. These rivers are the literal calories and hydration for 1/4 of the human race. From the rice paddies of Vietnam to the wheat fields of Punjab, every grain of food, every watt of hydroelectric power, and every sip of water can be traced back to a single mountain range. But in 2026, the data coming off these mountains is terrifying. The third pole is warming 3 times faster than the rest of the planet. We aren't just losing ice, we're losing the on/off switch for the Asian economy. Most people assume that when a glacier melts, the water just disappears. But the reality is much more dangerous. It's called the meltwater paradox. In the short term, the rivers actually get bigger. As the glaciers collapse, they dump billions of tons of extra water into the system. For a few years, it looks like a boom. Crops are lush and dams are full, but this is a false wealth. High in the Himalayas, this extra water is collecting in glacial lakes, massive pools of water held back by nothing but unstable walls of ice and loose debris. Scientists are tracking thousands of these ticking time bombs. If one wall breaks, it triggers a GLOOF, a glacial lake outburst flood. Imagine a wall of water, rocks, and trees 3 stories high traveling at 60 miles per hour toward a village that hasn't seen rain in weeks. But the true terror comes after the flood. Scientists have a term for it: peak water. It's the moment when a glacier has melted so much that it can no longer sustain the river below it. Once you pass peak water, the bank account is empty. The rivers begin to shrink, and when the water stops flowing, the geography of the world changes forever. In a world of shrinking resources, the most important question is, who is standing at the tap? If you look at the headwaters of these 10 rivers, you'll notice a startling pattern. Nearly all of them originate within the borders of one country, China. In the language of geopolitics, China is a hydrohegemon. They are the upstream neighbor to the entire continent, and they have realized that in the 21st century, controlling water is more powerful than controlling the internet. China is currently engaged in the most ambitious engineering project in human history. They are building a Great Wall of Dams. Take the Medog project. This is a planned megadam on the Yarlung-Changpo River, known downstream as the Brahmaputra. It is designed to be 3 times the size of the Three Gorges Dam. For China, it's clean energy, but for India and Bangladesh, it is a strategic nightmare. There is no international water-sharing treaty for this river. That means China has the legal power to turn off the tap during a drought to save their own crops or flush the system during a monsoon, drowning Indian cities. It is the weaponization of the environment. By controlling the third pole, China has gained a remote control for the survival of its rivals. We are already seeing the casualties of this Cold War for water. Look at the Mekong. For centuries, its pulse, The seasonal rise and fall of water sustain the largest inland fishery in the world. But China's cascade of 11 upstream dams has killed that pulse. In recent years, the Mekong has hit record lows while Chinese reservoirs remained full. The river didn't dry up because of nature, it dried up because of a spreadsheet in Beijing. Further west, the Indus River is the only reason Pakistan exists. It provides 90% of the country's water, but the Indus starts in Tibet and flows through Indian-controlled territory. As the third pole continues to melt and the total volume of water decreases, the fight for every gallon becomes a fight for existence. We're talking about 3 nuclear-armed powers, China, India, and Pakistan, all drinking from the same shrinking glass. In the 20th century, we fought for oil. But you can't drink oil. You can't grow rice with crude. When the taps run dry, people don't just go hungry, they move. We are looking at the potential for the largest climate migration in history. 2 billion people with nowhere to go and no water to follow. The third pole is a reminder that our civilizations are built on a fragile foundation of ice. We like to think we are in control of our destiny, but we are actually at the mercy of the mountains. The ice is dripping away second by second, and as it disappears, it reveals a harsh truth. The next great conflict won't be fought over ideology or religion or even land. It will be fought for the very thing that makes life possible. The question isn't whether the water will run out. The question is, what are we willing to do to get the last drop? If you want to see the inverse of this story, a place that no one wants to own, watch our video on Brutru. And if you want to understand the secret sand mafia that is literally stealing the world's beaches to build these megadams, click here. Don't forget to subscribe, because the stories that matter most are the ones that are hiding in plain sight.